$500 for sales of M-rated games to minors in the state of Illinois.
Every form of entertainment goes through a period in which it's disrespected. We imagine theater to be a high art form in this country. But when our country began, theater was outlawed. You know, in the colonies, theater was considered to be, a very, very, negative thing because it filled people with fantasies that were, immoral. And so here in the United States, when our country began, theater was outlawed in some of the colonies. Theater still remains somewhat of kind of a questionable form of art until movies came along and legitimized theater. And then movies were considered to be the trash art form for several years until television came along to legitimate film. And now we see, perhaps video games coming along to legitimate everything that went before it. It's easy for people to beat up on it. And they've been beating up on it for quite some time now. Let's face it, there's lots of violent film out there that probably doesn't have too much of a social message in certain ways, but still is not really engaged by our society either on a critical level or a political level. The political engagement of video games and violent video games has become somewhat of a fad. Because it's appearing all over the place, not only in terms of our federal legislature, but also state legislature, and we've had it here in our own state.
There are several reasons why it's hard for parents to keep track of the games that their kids are being subjected to. And the kinds of things that are really basic in our society, which is that you respect your elders, respect police, respect women.
Show me what you got. Let me help you. I'm a social worker.
You don't kill. You don't cheat, you don't lie, you don't steal. And you try not to swear.
Fuck you! Welcome to America, asshole!
All of these things are chock full in those games that are being sold to our children, and I think parents have a right to be able to make that decision for themselves.
I think it becomes an issue that politicians can grab onto and be able to, argue against violent video games and give the impression that they're really doing something to protect families and society and children, and thereby allow them to perhaps ignore some other issues that might be important.
In their position, they want votes, they want money, so they're going to do the responsible thing and say, well, this is not safe, this is not good for your kids. So they're going to sit there and not promote it.
I mean, for people to come out and say that Grand Theft Auto or something like that is so blatantly violent, I mean, it's not really that violent, as you can still tell that they're not real people. But in a movie, I mean, there's no delineation between the people and what's going on in the game, like in real people.
There is something about the interactive aspect of it. There's the aspect about playing the game and having some type of agency within the scene that's appearing on the video screen.
Video game, every time you play it, you get better, you're more attuned to what's going on, and you work on strategy. It's like playing any sport or anything really. You just get better at it, and you don't really get better at sitting on a couch watching a movie.
Enough resources exist to keep these games out of children's hands. Use them.